afternoon, everybody. On behalf of the team at SEMA, I would welcome you all to the Entepreneur program. Center for Incubation and Business Acceleration basically supports startup companies and entrepreneurs to start their own business. People who are interested to know how to start a business, as well as people who have already started businesses and want to scale up, are welcome to this center. This center is working for the last 13 years to support entrepreneurship, and more than 3,500 micro enterprises have been supported. Recently, we have added the Technology Business Incubator, which is supported by the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, which primarily helps establish startup companies to scale up. So I'm not here to talk to you about the program. The program will be hosted by Ms. Suena. Today, we have a lady entrepreneur who will be sharing her pains and gains of being an entrepreneur. So the program I Am Entrepreneur basically is a pathway for aspiring entrepreneurs to follow the footsteps of very successful entrepreneurs. We are not only trying to get in very successful entrepreneur, down the line we'll also get in unsuccessful or not so successful entrepreneur, so that you can have a feel of all of the different types of entrepreneurs. So without taking much time, I hand over the session.
Welcome to I the Entrepreneur. As you have seen in the video, we have a very proud, prominent personality, Mrs. Sneha Bandare, the CEO of Bandare Group of Companies. She's the proud owner of Nirvana Group of Companies. She, as you have inspired much I don't have to introduce because it's already been mentioned in the video, you have seen it. So she's done her master's in architecture from Ahmedabad, and she's a very proud, successful entrepreneur. So without wasting much time, let me welcome Mrs. Sneha Bandare to today's I the Entrepreneur. Hello? Yeah. Good afternoon, friends.
Good afternoon.
Sneha, yes. I would like you to introduce Nirvana to our audience.
Yes. How many of you have heard of Nirvana t-shirts previously? And I'm sure you must have bought and worn Nirvana t-shirts as well. Okay. So Nirvana t-shirts doesn't really need an introduction, but I'll tell you, she says, introduce the t-shirt. So I'm thinking I'm going to tell you how the Nirvana t-shirt started. You have gone through the video, some of you. Have you read, I wrote a very brief thing saying why the t-shirt brand started. Well, we are almost a 13-year-old brand now. It started in the year 2000 when the new millennium came in. And the reason it started, now every business idea has to have some kind of spark. You know, something happens in your life and that 1 minute that you decide, I'm going to do this. You've never thought of it previously in your life. You know, you've never thought, like some people have never thought they'll get into the food industry or they get into the IT industry, but then something happens in their life and they say, yes, this is my defining moment. This is the time I'm going to do something different. Well, something similar happened to us as well. 1998 was a time when there was Pokhran, all of you know, and suddenly India was being criticized, ostracized by the rest of the world, and everybody was saying sanctions against India because we are trying to test our nuclear capability for self-protection. Well, all of us read the news, all of us were angered, we were somehow feeling cheated. Why would somebody do something like that? This is because we want to protect ourselves. So, you know, young as we were at that time, we also took this very seriously and said, what do you mean economic sanctions? We are the largest buying population in the world today. Why should we let somebody dictate to us what we should do for our security or not? In my house, I decide how many doors I have. In my house, I decide which doors I fortify. Who is somebody else to tell me? So, as a rule, we did something like, let's patronize Indian goods. That's the only way to bring our economy up and to get the dollar stronger. I mean, the rupee stronger vis-a-vis the dollar. So that's the only way. So we decided, okay, let's buy cars which are manufactured in India. Let's buy, I mean, see, today in an economy which is opening up, what I'm saying to you may not sound that relevant. But at that point of time, it was really relevant. So then when it came to the clothing sector, and all of us as youngsters, you know, we all have Nikes and Reeboks, even if they're not available in India, we managed to get them when we travel abroad and stuff. So happened in the t-shirt segment. T-shirt segment, the only t-shirts available at that time, Indian brand was ProLine. There was Tantra, who was into graphic printing, but they started about 3 years before Nirvana. And Raj is an artist. So this is a brainchild of Raj, who's an artist, he's my husband. And he says, let's try to project how we feel via the medium of t-shirts, because who reads posters today? So we said, okay, we'll do t-shirts. But then the question was, we're not from the garment industry at all. But like I told you, you know, that spark comes in your head and you say, I'm going to do this. And then there are no challenges, you know, then you overcome all your challenges. So we traveled to Ludhiana, we traveled to Coimbatore and Tirupur. We learned the ropes on our own. And we said, we're going to do this. And we have a close group of friends. So we decided, okay, we just print about 7 or 8 t-shirts and give it to our friends and see their reaction. And some of our friends liked it. And then we said, okay, now let's go and get into production. And the first lot of t-shirts was about 2,000 t-shirts. And at the most, what would happen? we would lose some money. But that's okay. This is something we really wanted to do. So that's how Nirvana got started. Now Nirvana is looking at globalization, and when I talk about, you know, strengthening the rupee, when I talk about buying Indian brands, see, it still holds good. You know, it still holds good that you support, like if you are living in a village, you support the local craftsmen and local traditions. If you are living in a city, you support the local masons and the local art and craft of the place. So what's wrong in supporting an Indian brand or an Indian product? Only if you don't have an option available, you can. But of course, Indian products are competing globally now. Indian products are at that level. They are improvising. We are getting better technology into our country. So we are ready for that kind of competition, and that's where Nirvana is saying go global now. Yep.
You have answered quite a lot. I mean, like most of my queries. One question, what was the inspiration behind the brand name Nirvana?
Yeah, that's nice, because see, when we say think differently, we say get liberated. What does this liberation mean actually? Does it mean something like you know, just get liberated for the sake of getting liberated? I mean, what is liberation? What does it mean to a person? It just means that all of us at some point or the other have handicaps, whatever that handicap may be. It could be a physical handicap, it could be a mental handicap, it could be an emotional handicap, it could be anything. So just break that barrier. Just break that barrier, get liberated. That's the meaning. And that means Nirvana. That means just attain your higher self. Just try to better yourself. It's not what so and so is doing. It's just about yourself. So basically Nirvana means get liberated. So get liberated for anything. If there's a certain mindset which says you cannot do this, that's the time you should say, what the hell, I am going to do this. So that is liberation for you.
So the audiences, if you have any question, any queries in between, you can stop and you can inquire if you have any inquiries.
You can just raise your hand and maybe we can have a two-way dialogue going, because, yeah, please.
Ma'am, NCS and Tatra are already existing with the same brand, with this concept. How are you differentiating Nirvana with NCS and Tatra? Because we should have some different business models.
See, Nirvana never started with the intention of making money. Money was never the criteria. I don't know how they started, and I have seen a lot of their designs and stuff like that. But if you see Nirvana, it's basically a motivational youth brand, and it is an original art brand. These are the two things which define Nirvana very strongly. You will not find in Nirvana anything which is internet derived, internet copied. It's original art. It is an artist's expression of his self. This is what Nirvana is all about. You know, and while I'm at it, let me tell you, you know, Nirvana was treated like a hobby right until 2011, December. That's when Goldman Sachs happened to us. Nirvana has sustained 11 years of profitability in this market purely by passion. We have never advertised. We have never you know, had flyers and posters and taken part in competitions and stuff like that, nothing. So we had a distributor network all over India and we had our own showrooms in Bombay, in Goa, and how do I say, we sustained it like another child. You know how you bring up a kid, you know, even if initially there were some hiccups, we didn't think of it, okay, is it making money? I'm doing so much, but at the end of the month or at the end of that period, am I raking in profits? That was never the intention. So which is why it took off the way it took off, you know, and that's the reason the youth and the people connected with the brand. Let me tell you, we were the prime movers. I will say prime movers because if you see the t-shirt market today, it is pretty much saturated. There are a lot of players in the market. When we started, there were very few players in the segment. In fact, even in the segment that we are in, I think we are the only players today. If I say art brand, if I say motivational brand, okay. But other than that, there are other people who are doing t-shirts as well. But still, the brand recall of Nirvana is very high. We were there for, we were selected for, shortlisted for Power Up Ideas last year. And there was this another competitor, they were in the hoteling business and stuff like that. So this man goes, oh, you're from Nirvana. He was very excited to meet us and all that. And then he says, I've been wearing so and so brand, some of the brands that you mentioned as well and all that. and I'm still wearing this brand. I just asked him, why do you stick to this brand? He says, because some brands you grow out of, some brands don't grow out of, they grow onto you. I mean, that was something so beautiful I heard, because he says, how do you grow out of art? If you are an artist, if you have an arty mindset, how do you grow out of it? You can't. You can grow out of one-liners, my dad's an ATM, I love beer, I love this, I love that. You grow out of that. You love that when you're a teenager. But how do you grow out of a motivational mindset, or how do you grow out of being an artistic person? So, you know, you have to define your core competency. This is where Nirvana comes in. We are not doing what others are doing. If somebody is selling t-shirts, let's say tomorrow a particular festival or a particular event is so famous that everybody does t-shirts and they are a hot seller, and I know if I do these t-shirts, I can sell like 10,000 t-shirts in like 10 days, I will still not do it. Because that is not what I want to do. That doesn't make me happy. And if it doesn't make me happy, I am not a happy entrepreneur. Sooner or later, I'm not going to love what I'm doing. You see? So, what's the point really? Have I answered your question?
Any more questions? Okay, Sneha. In business, in every business, there is a struggle period. What was the approximate time which you took for people to accept your brand in the market?
See, we started marketing in the year 2000, New Year. We had an exhibition at Mandavi Hotel for 3 days, and that was quite a sold out. And sold out also, I will say, not because I was popular or anything like that, but or the brand was popular. That's because a lot of people in Goa are known to you. So, you know, that's not the, it's not the correct parameter to judge whether that would have been a, a success factor, because everybody is known to you. So if they come for your exhibition, they will buy at least 1 or 2 t-shirts, you know. So if you've got like 500 people walking in, you've sold about 1,000 t-shirts. Okay. So we appreciated that our friends bought, but the real test came when we started marketing. And you know how we marketed is let me tell you a little bit about ourselves. My husband is from a business family in Vasco and reasonably well placed. So it was kind of a thing for us to take our t-shirts in a bag and go shop to shop in Bombay, in Bangalore, in Delhi, without having to think that these guys here are making me wait for 2 hours. We are standing in the sun, okay? We are waiting. Why? Because I want to show the samples to the right merchandiser. I want to see his reaction, whether, and the first reaction is what? Either he'll say, okay, or his eyes light up and says, wow, this is what I want to see. What is his first reaction when he sees my brand? No matter what he talks after that, that is not important. But I want to see in his eyes how he feels, and we would wait for 2 hours sometimes, sometimes miss our lunch, but we did it on our own. So that was initial marketing. That was a struggle phase. I wouldn't really call it struggle because finances were never a problem, and that happens when you already have an existing business. But it's a problem if you're a startup, and finances are a bit of a problem, because then whenever you market with a little bit of stress attached because you've got to recover the money. I can understand that. But if you come from a little bit of a stable thing, then it's more of how do you say, you play it like a game. You play it like, I've done this product, now I want to see how it works, So that's how we did, and believe me, we got acceptance everywhere we went. We did not have to pay people to market our product there. In fact, after we finished this round, it took us about 6 months to do it in Bangalore, Bombay, Delhi, and Hyderabad. We had people coming to us asking for distributorship at that point of time. So that was nice, and then of course the mistakes happen. I don't know whether you're going to ask me about that, but
yeah, you can.
Yeah, that's what happens. You have treated your brand. You started with a passion. You love your brand, and you love the way people are excited about it. And then boom, you go overboard. And you go overboard because there is this guy who comes and he says, "I love your product. It's awesome, and I can do wonders with it in say Nagpur or Pune or wherever. And I want to be a distributor." And you say, "Oh wow, how many t-shirts do you need?" He says, 500. I said, "Go all out, take it, just give me a post-dated check," and the check never realizes, and you cannot go and keep on fighting court cases everywhere. So this is what happens, because see, we're not from I'm an architect, okay? I'm trained to design buildings, I'm trained to design cities. I'm an urban designer. I'm not how do you say, a person who has been an entrepreneur or seen an entrepreneur, because I'm not from an entrepreneurial family. I'm from a family of doctors. So for me, it was a great excitement. Oh, he loves the product. Give it to him. Like, let's see what happens further. He will pay up. The trust factor was very high. Now I realize that in the distributor segment, the last thing you have to do is offer credit. And if you do it, there is a strict 15-day period, a 30-day period, a 45 days. There's a way the industry works. You see, every industry has a certain way of working. It has certain dynamics, which we, when we are younger and more excited, we ignore. Primarily because we think our product is so good that finally this guy is going to come back to us. Of course, people come back to you. There are people who come back to you, but then in the bargain, you also lose a lot of money. So I would say it's very important to have your head on your shoulders and not get carried away with initial success, because that takes you back a couple of months, in terms of your progress.
Any questions?
Yeah, please.
Ma'am, you just said that your vision is to represent the art with the help with the medium of the t-shirts. So as we see our whole India from the small child to the old people, and from the rural to the urban people, so everyone has a link with the art. So they like some art, but they don't know what art they feel or they want to wear. So how do you find your thinking? What art should I sell to which sort of people?
See, first of all, I will give you one basic principle in marketing. Everybody is not your customer. Everyone is not your customer. Please don't try to cater to everyone. It will bomb miserably. Weed out the people who are not your customers. See, every product has a set of people for whom it is designed. iPhones are designed for certain set of people, and believe me, iPhone survives on that small section who will buy Apple products no matter what, right? There are people who are used to Android, so they will buy that. So similarly, Nirvana is like a cult brand. It has a certain kind of following, and it's not just about t-shirts. Nirvana is currently in t-shirts. We've launched 2 new brands, Kuroki and I Love Goa, but Nirvana is all about clothing yourself in art from head to toe. And when I say head to toe, I mean we're coming out with products. See, if somebody comes to my shop and he's buying a t-shirt, he's definitely looking for probably a bandana, he's probably looking for some lowers, he's probably looking for a footwear which keeps in his mindset, So guy who is a little, I would say a mindset of wearing Nirvana would want everything in that genre. So my thing to you would be, I know my customers, and those who are not my customers, who are on the borderline, who are ready to jump, can be converted into my customers. Now therein lies my ability as a marketing person, how I use the marketing tools, which means the media. It could be the media, it could be the social medias, because they are for free. So how do I manipulate the social media towards my brand? And these are only for the people who are on the fence. This is not for people who are away from the fence, because it's too much of time and effort to bring them in. And let me tell you, there are 2 kinds of people. If everybody knows that, anytime you have a certain mindset of people patronizing a certain brand, and you think, oh, this is so hip to wear this. Like I remember a certain brand of shoes or certain brand of jeans or something, when they come into the market, and a certain class of people are always seen wearing them. There's another second ring of people who says, I'm going to buy this not because I like it, but because these people whom I look up to are wearing it. You get it? So there are the guys who are arty, and there are the guys who are wannabe arty. So you have to play on that mindset. You have to know, and that's just about how far you can go. You cannot be going and plucking a guy from somewhere and say, hey, look at this brand, this is so arty, this is so you're so smart, you've got to wear this. No. Don't waste your effort on people, time and effort on people who are not going to be your clients. And it's fair to understand and accept that.
Any more questions? Okay. Let's go ahead.
Yep.
For every business, finance is normally a problem. I mean, like, I would not say it's a problem, but then was finance easily available to you?
Yes.
Yes.
So see, for me, finance was easily available when I started. Later on, I didn't need any finance from external sources because Nirvana was doing good business and it was doing enough so that I could, have 4 showrooms and expand and stuff like that. But now that you ask for finances, now when I'm thinking of second level growth with Nirvana, of course I will need external help. Because you see, one thing is growing at a small gradual pace. The other thing is something happens to your company and you decide that you want to jump to the next level. Now that next level growth will need funding. So then comes in how much funding, what are the sources of funding, whether you will get in from the banks, whether you will have VCs coming in, or whether you will have angel investors coming in, whatever. But that again depends upon the amount of money that you need. But yes, for a startup, I would say funding is important, but again, very, very important for all you young people in startups. Please do not make money as a motivating factor to work, and also do not make money as a hindrance to start a business. Generally, everyone will tell you this. I mean, money is the last thing you need. It's an important aspect of starting your business, but it's the last thing you need. You know what people think? I will have the money, then I am going to refine my ideas, then I am going to make a business plan, and then I am going to go to market. It doesn't work like that. You've got to have the idea, you've got to refine your idea, you've got to start your social media marketing about your idea, tell people what you're going to do, and money will come. Where I see a problem is in the closed mindset. When people are scared to talk about their ideas. I have met some young entrepreneurs, they want help, and when they talk to me, this happened to me in Delhi, and she wouldn't explain to me her entire business. How do I advise somebody if I do not understand what she's trying to do? You understand what I'm saying? The concept is somebody will steal my idea. Somebody is going to copy it. It doesn't happen like that. The more you talk about your business, the more you share what you want to do, your vision, your passion for your business, the more partners you will get in, the more people will be interested to support you. And you can find people to support you anywhere, believe me. Anywhere. You just, I have met people just talking to them, just like that, and suddenly you realize you're from the same industry. And you start talking and you realize, okay, maybe that person could be your supplier, maybe that person could be your buyer, or maybe that person could be your collaborator in whatever way. So please, money is important, but do not make money as the only important factor. Refine your ideas first. And do everything simultaneously. Don't say that first I will get money, then I will do this, A, B, C, D. Doesn't happen. If you're an entrepreneur, you have got to do 5 things at the same time.
Any questions?
Yeah, please.
Ma'am, usually companies start up at the scratch and they reach some milestones and they go for the funding.
Yeah.
And after the funding also, many companies have the struggle of getting some extra things because you are getting more funds and you have to reach some extra milestones because you have to sustain the market. And is there any particular situation in Nirvana where you have to take care some extra funding, or you have to reach some extra milestones or something?
No. Might happen in the future when I allow for VC funding to come in. But as far as possible, we are going to avoid that. As of now, at least, because you see, to everybody it looks Nirvana is a 13-year-old company, but as far as I'm concerned, I think it is a startup. See, we started in 2000 and we started again in 2012. I'm being very honest about this because till 2012 it was a passion, it was a hobby, it was a kind of a thing, and it was making money. So the mindset is different. After 2012, when Goldman Sachs happened, I got trained by ISB, Indian School of Business, and I got a mentor. Then I got a second time mentor just 6 months ago when I cleared their business advisory services interview. And I have another mentor, Mr. Ashwini Rathore, who is based out of Singapore and Pune, and he's on a one-on-one basis with Nirvana.